Welcome back to the Power Forward podcast. I'm your host, Jackie Rainica, a mindset coach and former Ivy League athlete, here to help student athletes, parents, and coaches focus on progress, not perfection. Every other week, we'll welcome a new guest with relevant experience to share their perspectives and tools to support growth on and off the field. Today's guest is one of my dearest friends, though she's always felt more like a sister. She's the oldest of 5 girls, and that role has shaped so much of who she is. The way she shows up, the way she leads, and how people naturally turn to her for guidance. She grew up on the Jersey Shore and went on to play soccer at Princeton, where she became a 2-time captain and Ivy League champion. We've always shared a love for psychology. We spent many hours studying together, which shows up so clearly in how she understands people and supports those around her. After college, she played professionally in France and earned a master's in exercise science and health promotion, with a concentration in sports psychology and rehabilitation science. After playing professionally for 4 years, an ACL injury forced her to step away from the game and move back to the States. Now she's a director of mentoring at Command Education, where she helps guide students through one of the most high-pressure times in their lives, supporting them in building confidence and clarity as they apply to colleges. I'm so excited for you all to feel her calming presence and hear all her valuable insights. Welcome, Jesse McDonough, recently turned Ogren.
I'll have to do the name change thing, so it's still technically McDonough, but thanks for having me, Jackie.
Welcome, welcome. She has the doors open in her house. The birds are chirping.
Beautiful out. Yeah, soaking in all that natural light this morning.
Oh, okay. So you're currently on, and you grew up on the Jersey Shore, played
Yes.
at Princeton, went pro in France. When you look back, what was that through line? Was there a version of you that had this all planned out?
I guess short answer, I would say no. Like, I mean, you definitely had ideas and thoughts about, what I wanted to do. I latched onto soccer early on, and I remember wanting to take it as far as I could. And I had a lot of supportive people in my life that kind of were cheering me on and to do that, like go and play at a D1 level and then beyond college. So that was really one of the main goals. I mean, like I remember in middle school, like, when you're writing, like, what do you want to do when you grow up? And one of my hometown friends always mentioned, like, you wrote down, like, you wanted to be a professional soccer player. It never mapped out the way that I like thought it was going to, which I guess is the through line. But I think going from like high school to Princeton and then France, a through line was I just had these doors open that I wasn't aiming for, like didn't really necessarily expect. And I kind of just took them, if that makes sense. I wasn't even looking at Princeton. I was so new. My parents were so new to the college recruiting process. I was pretty late in the game, and my high school coach suggested, like, oh, why don't you go tour Princeton? And we did. And I fell in love with the school and like the opportunity and the campus. And then my dad one day overnight just switched me from my club team to a more competitive club team. Like I was with all my friends on one club team, and he just switched me and Sam to a different club team where we could get into more competitive tournaments, which is ultimately where the Princeton coach Shax at the time saw Sam and I.
And sorry to interrupt you, but Sam is your next youngest sister
Yes.
who also played at Princeton with you.
Yes. So Sam was like a beast, and she always was like playing 2 years up on my team. And so the Princeton coach, I actually like want to ask Shax about this, but like I believe it was like a package deal. Like she really wanted Sam, but I also really wanted to go. So to get both of us, and it's unfortunate because she like developed some sort of breathing condition during college. So she never was able to realize her like soccer potential at Princeton, but she was like such a dynamite player on the field. It was so crazy how just like those really small things that happened. And then it led to, getting an opportunity to go to Princeton. And then similarly for France, I wanted to keep playing, but I didn't know the avenue to do that. And Sam, again, was with my family and one of my other sisters playing at the same tournament that Shaq's, our Princeton coach, saw us at that spring and bumped into the Lehigh coach, who she knew very well through the recruiting process. And he was like, "What's Jesse doing after college?" And it just so happened that the guy who owned the French team that I ended up playing for was a Lehigh alum, contacted the Lehigh coach because he wanted American players to go over and like play for his team. I got introduced that way, sent them film, and like that's literally how it happened. Long story short, I think through line is like, I just, there were just doors that opened and I kind of took them and said yes and ended up being like really awesome experiences.
Aw. But you also put yourself in those rooms that then were doors that opened.
Yeah, I guess,
Yeah.
you just try and work hard and work towards like what you want and things happen, and I think it's also about having the mindset of like recognizing, right? Like this is an opportunity and to be open to it. That is like carried on like through my entire life. What helps is just seeing it in that light, which I don't always do, but like trying to have that more of like a positive mindset of let's go with this and like see where it goes, or this is another door open kind of thing.
Mm.
Yeah.
You mentioned your dad signed you up overnight. I
Yeah.
know your parents and I love them. But can you share a little bit more about your perspective and what it was like as the oldest of five girls and what your parents were like and how they navigated that?
So as you know my family very well, you know that I have four younger sisters who are all so amazing and different, vibrant personalities, all very unique from each other. I mean, we're all super close, which is amazing. And growing up as the oldest, I definitely took on like I'm the leader, like not do as I say, but like I was in charge of everything and like they would, follow my lead. And I was very comfortable in that position, like being firstborn. And then as we got older, that kind of dynamic change, because everyone's getting a little bit more independent, confident in themselves. And my parents were always there, so supportive of like everything we did. And I think they weren't very micromanagey. Like they were obviously on top of us for, getting stuff done. But I think overall, like I wanted to like go to practice and I wanted to like go to the tournaments and they never really pushed us. Like I think you see some parents do where to the point of burnout maybe. So I really value that from them. And I mean, like I think of them, like my mom especially is just like the giving tree. Like she just is just so loving and caring and will do like anything for us. And my dad the same. They were so supportive of my soccer career and like all of our athletics and academics and everything. And I think I take a lot from them in that sense, like just being really supportive and being there to cheer my sisters, like people on and kind of like being in your corner as that like support person. Like I said, getting older, me being that like quote unquote, leader in with my sisters didn't really fly anymore. Like, they all, as you know, they all have different personalities and it's you can't like manage that. So I think what I've learned is your leadership style, it like needs to transition or change. And you almost have to shapeshift it a bit. And now I'm just more of like, again, that support system of like, I'm there if you need me. I will be like that listening ear and almost just holding space for everybody to be themselves and work together synergistically. So it's more of like, I feel like a backseat role, which I prefer. That's something I've learned is leaders can like, they come in all different shapes and sizes. And like, it doesn't always have to be that person who's leading the charge and like being super loud and vocal.
How did that experience being a leader naturally as the oldest and then letting them kind of blossom into their own personalities? How did that transfer over to being a captain at Princeton?
As my teammates and like my coaches know, I'm not a very vocal outgoing personality. And again, I think like during that time, that's what I thought like a leader needed to be. So I was pretty hard on myself getting older and like becoming a sophomore and then junior and senior, wanting to be that type of leader and that type of person for my team. But what really helped me was having other people on the team who filled that role so I could be what came more naturally to me. Junior year, when I was elected captain with Emmy Sura, who was a year above me. So she was a senior, I was a junior. Like she took on that very vocal, like rallying the team role. Like she was awesome. And I wholeheartedly believe like she played such a role in us winning the Ivy League and like going to the tournament because she just had that like energy. Like you have that energy. And so it allowed me to kind of play that more of like supporting role, which comes more naturally. I just always tried to do what was right for the team and like play for the team and work really hard on the field and like do what was expected of me and what was right. And so it was more of like, I guess, leading by doing. But it's funny because our coach that I had freshman, sophomore year, Shax, amazing woman, like she's still coaching. Sophomore year, we needed to fill a role in center back because we didn't have one. And I was kind of like the person where I was like, I will literally play anywhere. Like if I'm on the field, like I get a chance to play. So they were trying me out at center back and like I was learning the position and you need to be vocal because you're the backbone of the team. So it was a huge misfit for me personality wise. And I just remember her like yelling at me on the field, like in practice, I can't hear you. Like, what are you saying? Like, I can't hear you. Like not mocking me, but like we laugh about it now. Like me and my teammates, because everybody remembers it. And it was I needed it because to get out of my comfort zone. But it shows you like I was not that type of person, but like that experience for sure helped me, I think, grow into it a little bit more. So thanks, Shax, for the shock therapy.
That's funny.
Yeah.
But it sounded like you were leading by example. You worked really hard. You were consistent on the field and others looked up to you for that. And we all need that type of leader too.
Took me a while to learn. I think like there are all types of leaders. And
Right.
so, but I agree because everybody also like, I think learns from other people like differently. So
Right.
you need different leaders. Yeah.
You go from a very successful, structured career at Princeton as a leader, very well loved. How was the transition from that to then playing professionally, where you kind of have to fend for yourself? And mentally, it's, from my perspective, harder because you're out in France in a new culture on your own. You are very family oriented. What was that like mentally?
It's a really good question. I mean, I was so excited to go and just have this new experience, but it definitely, there was an adjustment period for sure. Being on my own, like you said, we lived in a small like port town in northern France. So we were not in like the heart of Paris where English is spoken basically everywhere. The town was called Le Havre and we had to learn French, and which it was definitely intimidating at first because we were like, where are we going? Like who are these people we're getting in a van with? What is this food? Like it was obviously, it was just like disorienting a little bit. Like you were just like, okay, I'm just going along here. But it was fun. I think what helped me was, I came over with a group of girls. And again, it was just connecting with girls on the team. And like, we maybe didn't speak the same language yet, but just that whole like camaraderie feeling made me feel like more at home almost, because that is like one of the things that I loved most about playing soccer was just like being on a team and wanting to like run through a wall for people, that definitely helped, I think, like bonding with all of them and being in that space together. Looking back, it was like a fever dream. Like I can't believe that period of my life happened. It was so awesome. I wish like I just like had more fun with it. Like there were definitely periods of time like when I was just trying to take myself and like the soccer really seriously. And when I came to the team was in a lower level league. And so the goal was to move up to D1, which is like the highest level of soccer in France. So like we would be again playing against PSG, Lyon, like those big guys. And so we were in the second year D2 and like we had one more year left. Like if we won that league, we would move up to D1. And so I was so serious about like, we need to do everything right. I need to do everything right to like realize this goal. It made me not have as much fun. So yeah, I think just looking back, it's like, obviously you have goals and you want to compete and work hard, but like you also have to have fun and like enjoy the experience because that like definitely helps you get there.
Okay, so you were working so hard towards this goal for 4 years and you tear your ACL. What was the hardest part about that? Was it physically, emotionally, something nobody talks about?
Yeah. Connecting it back to what I just said, which was, so we had been working for like over 3 years to finally get to Division 1. So this was preseason. 2020. Also, we're in the year of 2020. It's like a weird time. I go back in the summer for preseason. We're like so excited. We're playing against PSG, Lyon, like Paris FC. And it was in a preseason game. There was like maybe 5 minutes left to the game. We were winning. I actually had the thought of right before, I was like, my hamstrings like just feel really tired. Maybe I should just ask the coach, like, just take me out. And I didn't. And I was like, whatever, it's like 5 minutes left. And then I went for a ball or like went to go challenge somebody, like slow them down. And then like I had to decelerate and yeah, my leg just like gave out. And yeah, I would say like the fact that I was like so close to like playing in that league that where I was like, that is basically like all I want to do. Like I will hang up my cleats like after I like realized this goal. That was a tough pill to swallow. So yeah. And that was tough. But it was weird too in that I obviously like, was very emotional, very upset when we did the MRI and like confirmed it. Ate like 2 cartons of ice cream like that day. Like I was just wallowing. But then I made a decision to go home, have the surgery, do PT with like people I trust with my life. And I was like, all like, okay, like we're doing this. I'm going to rehab my butt off and do everything I can. And I'm going to get back in 9 months and it's going to be better than ever. And I don't know if like, I mean, like, I think you have to have somewhat of like a positive, almost like delusional mindset going into stuff like that. Cause like your mindset for sure plays a role in like how you heal and recover and stuff. I don't know if people tell you this or like, at least I was not under the impression, but you're not gonna feel the same after. Like, it's just not, I don't want to say true. Like maybe some people do, but I was fully expecting to be like, my knee's better than ever because I'm going to do all the rehab, do all the things. And sometimes it doesn't. And my knee still doesn't. And that was also a really hard pill to swallow. But I think I've had a lot of time, obviously, to look back at all of it. It's been 6 years since. And I think what's given me like peace of mind with it all is like, I truly believe like everything happens for a reason. And so there was a reason that had to happen. I was dating Joe for 2 years at that time when that happened. And a year. Yeah. Like maybe, I don't know, like would we have ended up like getting married? I don't know. I've still been over there playing soccer and like I couldn't give it up. I like to think that played a role. So that helps give me a little bit of peace of mind with it.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, thank you for sharing. I know it still hits hard and has taken time to kind of process. And I'm sure it's something you still think about often.
I mean, I don't like to try and make it my personality because there's obviously so much more to life, but it is hard. Like, I mean, you just talked to our friend Kat who tore her knee multiple times and it's tough. Like when it literally alters your like life trajectory and how you have to like shift what you surround yourself by like all the time, which is like movement and working out or competing. And so you have to then find those things in other ways. But yeah, ultimately I am grateful for it because it then I think pushed me, one, obviously like I was able to focus more on like life at home and being with Joe. But then I think similar to Kat, went down more of like a rabbit hole journey of like, okay, like how can I best take care of myself and like put my health into my own hands, and going through like nutrition and like best workouts for my knee and optimizing sleep and all that stuff. And I think it helped me unlock like that sort of side passion or interest. I find so much joy in like learning about like how best can like I and myself and like others like take care of ourselves. And like now it's
Mm.
for longevity. Now it's not for like, competing in like a game. So yeah,
The game of life.
the game of life. We're all playing it. Yeah.
But to that point, you are working with others, especially younger
Hmm.
people who are going through this high pressure time in their life. If you could maybe tell yourself or tell a current student athlete one thing about recruiting or college, what would it be?
You're going to end up where you're meant to be. And I say that to like try and take pressure off of the situation, because there is so much pressure being put on kids these days to compete, perform academically, athletically. It's insane. And obviously, I see it firsthand. So I think wherever I can, I really try and tell students as best I can to find ways to like help them take the pressure off themselves, because we were both in that situation ourselves. And I remember being in that position, and now they have even more pressure on them, maybe more of like in terms of the college or recruiting process. I think some important things to think about are, especially when looking at schools, like making sure that you love the school just as much as you love the team or the coach, because you never know what's going to happen. Both you and I, like, we've seen so many teammates go through situations where it kind of altered their student athlete experience, and they had to find other sources to fill their cup, or, if they couldn't be on the field, or, maybe they weren't getting as much playing time, or maybe they got injured, or maybe they had, something happen and had to take like a step back and take care of their mental health. So I emphasize to students who are going down that athletic recruiting process, really make sure you love the school. Like, would you go to the school if you weren't playing your sport? Because that's so important. You're going to spend your next 4 years there. Like, you really want to make sure you could see yourself there, like without the sport.
4 years plus being excited to go back and having friends there. And,
Oh
it's
yeah. I would
not to put more pressure on the situation.
like, this is a long-term decision you were making. I mean, that I think we're
Yeah, we're lucky.
so
Yeah.
lucky to
Yeah.
have that, and be excited to go back every year and like see our friends. So yeah.
What's one thing you wish someone told you at 17?
I guess I wish I had maybe someone like to encourage me to stop focusing on like what others think. And I feel like that's so cliche, but as a 17-year-old going to Princeton, you're amongst all of these like amazing people, and you're always comparing yourself. Like, it's just so natural. I think having maybe someone, or just like hearing you're on your own path, like you're going to get to where you need to go. And just to try and like take a step back and not focus so much on what other people are thinking of you or your choices or like your path or your journey, and just really focus inward on like what you enjoy or what you think is right or what you want to do. When you focus so much on what other people think, you lose like a sense of like who you are. And like, I had the hardest time like trying to make decisions, and like it's because I never really knew like, well, what do I want? Or like, what
Mm.
do I think I want to do? Or what I think is right? And so I have spent a lot of time like trying to tap back into that, which has really helped. But that's like the problem I feel like no one really talks about, is like you lose, I don't know, yourself a little bit. I feel like that sounds dramatic, but like when you're 17, you have all these like social pressures, and like you're comparing yourself to everybody, and you want to have friends and you want to fit in. And so it's very normal, but it would be amazing to have, I think, like especially when kids are going to college, to have that sort of like you're doing, like mindset, coaching to help them like guide them through that, because everybody goes through it for sure. So yeah, if they had power forward, probably wouldn't have that issue.
My PR lady. And they have you.
It's tough because what I do is like a lot of it's focused on the college process and making sure like they're prepared like academically, extracurricularly, but you want to try you sprinkle in and very important like EQ and EF skills and help them build their confidence and find themselves. So it's like a lot like baked into what we try and do. Yeah, I mean the kids that I connect with, you just know like they're so young and you know like they're probably going to change their major like 3 times in school. And you just have to really like try and reassure them like it is okay if you don't know what you want to do right now. Like that is so normal. It's okay if like you think you want to go to this school and then you change your mind like last minute or you really want to aim for this school and you don't get in. Like it's okay. Like these things happen. And just again reassuring them that you are going to get to where you're meant to be and just try and instill that I think belief in them like or as early as possible.
Hmm, love that. Well, the students you work with are very lucky to have you. Is there anything I forgot to ask or that you wanted to mention?
This has been such a great reflection for me, like on my life. But I guess something that also I wish like if I could go back through all these stages and for someone to kind of encourage me or knowing what I know now, like I would definitely lean on my people and like my teammates more. Like I brought up like, you know, in France, like I was so serious at times, like just wanting to do everything right and like check the boxes and get to that goal. And so I very much like sometimes put myself in a silo and like didn't lean on people and also in college there's a time and place for like wanting to compete and like do well and like be the best player that you can be and the best teammate that you can be but like it is okay to like lean back on your people and your teammates for help or just to like open up and be like hey like I have this situation or I have this problem like I don't know how to go about it, or I'm really struggling with this. I think that's part of like the Princeton like social pressures. Like you never want to really admit like that you're struggling. Like you want to look like you have it all figured out and like you're running on 4 hours of sleep and like you're thriving and like, you know, have all your stuff together. But if I could go back, I would open up earlier and lean more on like my teammates and like my people for just mental support because I do it more now and it's like, it's so beneficial. So,
Hmm.
yeah, including you. So,
Oh, well, thank you so much, Jesse. I know you said it's been helpful to reflect, but I know this will touch and help so many people. So we are grateful to have you and grateful to have you in the Power Forward network. How can people find you?
barely on Instagram these days. My sister's like, get so mad that I haven't posted my wedding photos yet. But I am on Instagram. I'm also on LinkedIn, but I'm not super active there. So, but I mean,
Well, people can reach out to me. I can share your email. I know you're always open to talking to people
oh
about
yeah,
your, yeah.
for sure. That's email, phone call. Yeah, whatever.
Well, thank you so much. I love you. I'm proud of you, and I'll see you in a week.
Yay. Thanks. Love you. This was
Enjoy
awesome.
enjoy the sunshine.
Thanks. You too. Get out there.